Automobile license plates went on sale this morning, January 2nd. New license plates must be obtained by February 15th. At mid-morning today, many people were standing in line to pay their license fees. I decided to wait a couple of weeks, hoping that by that time the line would be A. Earlier, B. Longer, C. Shorter, D. Later. The answer is C. Shorter. The climate of a country influences its foods, its clothing, its shelter, and the habits and recreation of its people. Climate has determined the migrations and conquests of many nations. Without a knowledge of the climate of a country, it is impossible to understand its A. Books, B. Music, C. Language, D. History. The answer is D. History. Some of the most closely kept secrets of the Earth lie within it. We know that the interior of the Earth is very hot and gets progressively hotter towards the middle. For this reason, it is not possible for people to explore the depths of the Earth and make direct observations. Scientists interested in the depths of the solid Earth have to rely on indirect observations and inference. We may plan to travel in space, but no one is talking of going A. to the planets, B. to the middle of the Earth, C. into deep mines, D. around the Earth. The answer is B. to the middle of the Earth. A perfect specimen of an Oriental ruby is the most precious stone, being worth many times the price of a diamond of the same size. The best rubies are found principally in Thailand, Burma, and Ceylon, but rubies of lower quality are found in other places. Artificial rubies of good quality and beauty are manufactured, but experts A. pay the price, B. can tell the difference, C. prefer diamonds, D. perfect the stones. The answer is B. can tell the difference. The world is indebted to China for the invention of porcelain. The potter's wheel has been in use in China for more than 4,000 years, but for a long time the Chinese pottery was not as beautiful as that of the Greeks. Then, about 1,000 years ago, the Chinese invented and perfected porcelain. Translucent porcelain vases and other articles of great beauty were brought to Europe in the 17th century. We recognize our indebtedness to China by calling our fine porcelain dishes A. porcelain, B. Oriental, C. China, D. transparent. The answer is C. China. An old lion lay in its cave and pretended to be ill. When any animals came to visit it, the lion killed and ate them. A fox stood at a distance and inquired how the lion felt. The lion said that it was very ill and invited the fox to come in. The fox declined, saying that it had noticed that there were many tracks going in and none coming out. You should learn from this story that, if you look for and recognize danger signals, you can avoid A. injury, B. animals, C. caves, D. tracks. The answer is A. injury. In the early part of the century, success was finally achieved in two of the most difficult explorations ever attempted. On April 6, 1909, Robert E. Peary reached the North Pole, a venture in which he had twice before been unsuccessful. When the Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen heard that Peary had reached the North Pole, he decided to make an all-out effort to reach the South Pole. He was successful on December 14, 1911. The struggle to reach both places was A. begun, B. lost, C. postponed, D. won. The answer is D. 1. Skis were first used for transport in places where there was a great deal of snow. Later, skis were used for military purposes, and now they are used mainly for sport. Ski events were made a part of the Winter Olympic Games in 1924. There are now many ski resorts in the United States, and U.S. skiing enthusiasts who can afford skiing holidays abroad sometimes go as far as Chile, Scandinavia, or A. Michigan, B. Switzerland, C. Idaho, D. New York. The answer is B. Switzerland. In countries far from the equator, many insects and worms that cannot live in winter die when cold weather comes. They leave larvae or eggs to revive their species the following: A. Spring, B. Generation, C. Migration, D. Winter. The answer is A. Spring. The homing pigeon is a breed of pigeon that will return to its home when it is released at a distant place. Some people think homing pigeons must have a remarkable visual memory, but they have found their way back over terrain they have not seen before. They can find their way in cloudy weather, so they do not depend upon the sun. It has been suggested, but not proved, that homing pigeons orient their bodies with the Earth's magnetic field. The homing instinct is not understood, but A. Many theories have been proposed. B. It is not of interest anyway. C. The pigeon's speed of flight is remarkable. D. Homing pigeons are hard to train. The answer is A. Many theories have been proposed.